So let's take a look at the front pages for you this morning. We're joined by Mr. Ambrose Igboke, who's Chairman Guild of Public Affairs Analysts, Enugu State, joining us virtually. You're welcome to the program, Mr. Igboke.
Good morning.
The front pages are rife with some of the major stories, the heartbreaking ones. And I'll just begin with this Nigeria. 170 feared dead as gunmen hit Kwara. 35 killed in Katsina. If you had to do the math, and that's just 2 states, that's over 200 people. I know the governor has said the death toll is not as much as 170, that is less than 100 according to what he gathered. But this is where we're at right now, Mr. Igboke, in 2026. What do you make of it?
Well, I hope the government is now happy that there's a balancing of the genocide for Christians and Muslims. Maybe that is what they are looking for. Because when the United States last year was talking about the issues of Christian genocide, they said not only Christians were killed. So maybe now maybe the federal government is happy that now Muslims are being killed as well, so that they can have a very good story to tell. Because this is one of, this is a very sad news. I was born in Kwara State, so I have a very particular affinity to that state. My early childhood was in Kwara State. My father worked in the sugar company in Bashita. And, I have a very, very strong affinity with that state. And, some of those places mentioned are places I know. Places I visited as a teenager, after my school in Warri, coming back, to see my parents. So it is sad that, such things are going on. In Kwara State, that's a very safe place. You can go to the ends of Kwara State, those days and nothing happening to you. So seeing this kind of thing taking place in 2026, this thing I'm talking about was like more than 30 years ago. Coming back 30 years ago to now say we are going backward, that we cannot even secure our territorial integrity with all the sophisticated, equipment, with all the technology available, with all the satellite, communications available, with all the weapons we have purchased, and with all the monies we make, we cannot protect our citizens. It is sad, and the number keeps increasing. You don't know who is the next victim. You don't know the next place to strike. And then it just seems that, we'll put boots on ground, we'll do this. The federal government should stop talking about security strategies on newspaper and the rest. We don't want to hear that you are putting boots on ground. We don't want to hear that you are deploying tactics, whether it's kinetic or whatever you are calling it. Just make sure that you prevent these things from happening. And when and if it happens, make sure you brutally and clinically decimate the people that are causing these things. But that has not been happening. And then the Minister for Defense should please begin to really, the Nigerians believed so much in him when he was appointed. I see him talking too much now. Please, General Musa, you should concentrate and let the hopes that Nigeria believe in you make it work. If you are not being allowed to do your work, then let us know so that we know where the problem lies. As it stands now, security in Nigeria is still is much in disarray, and the citizens have no respite. That is a very, very bad validation of the failure of government when it comes to protecting security, which, by the way, is a primary responsibility of this government and any government.
Mr. Igboke, it's very heartbreaking to see how cheap lives are in our country. And I do hope that one day we will look back and say, this was the period where we didn't value human life, but this is just way too much and way too many. These are Christian, Muslim brothers, literally our Muslim brothers, literally murdered in cold blood in Nigeria in 2026 is very sad and very heartbreaking. It is not acceptable. It is not acceptable.
The funny thing? Do you know the funny thing is that countries that are at war, that are truly at war, don't have this number of casualties. Is it in Sudan? Is it in Ukraine? Is it in Syria? Is it where that this kind of huge casualties are recorded? Even countries in very serious war don't have this kind of casualties. Yet we are not in war. But look at how our citizens, our brothers and sisters have been slaughtered. And we have a government in place that has the arrogance to even talk to us as if we are not, when we complain, we don't know what we are talking about. I mean, this is not how to rule a country.
It's quite unfortunate, and I hope that all the monies that they now have, the president, since he came in, they've had record high number in Naira terms of revenue allocated to each of these states. I don't know what is some of these governors are really doing with these monies. That's why they say allow local government to function. Maybe it will help. Expedite state police, I don't know. It's just a very frustrating morning for everyone who has a conscience of some sort to see that people are being killed in this manner. Let's get to the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard, Electoral Act, Senate passes bill, rejects mandatory electronic transmission of results. There are so many riders, reduces election notice from 360 days to 180 days. LP, PDP, Judge Okore slammed Senate over results transmission. We retained old law, didn't reject electronic transmission, according to that explainer by Senate President. INEC vows to sanitize voter register, says dead men don't vote. Declares readiness for February Abuja Council polls and Kano by and Rivers by elections. Mr. Gboke?
I laughed first. I don't know whether to laugh in Igbo or in Spanish or in Yoruba. Exactly a week ago, when I was doing this newspaper review on this show, I said that this 10th Senate is, for me, the most disappointing Senate. And that has been confirmed again with this kind of action. When Mr. Senator Lawal was the Senate President, I thought we have seen it all. But I think what Senator Lawal and this what Senator Akpabio is doing is like a child's play to what Senator Lawal did. First of all, to even begin to talk about Electoral Act 2026 when the elections are a few days away, I did complain that it was already getting late. And then you come with all kinds of things. The major issues in the Electoral Act was this transmission of results. And I remember in the preparation towards 2023 elections, when the issues of those beavers came up and the technologies and the rest, the senator said why they didn't pass it was because, there are some parts of the country that do not have, internet access to transmit immediately. But again, INEC assured us, Mahmoud then assured us, Professor Mahmoud told us that it doesn't matter, that when you impute these things, that once you come out of the rural areas and when you get to where you have internet access, the thing will automatically upload when you do that. But it didn't, happen, and we left it at the discretion of INEC. INEC went ahead, did whatever they did, and there was a dent in the credibility of the election. And just 2 years later, the INEC chairman was nominated an ambassador. So it is left for Nigerians to judge why he was being rewarded with that kind of position, even when he was not supposed to be partisan just 2 years ago. The other issues about this is that the Senate has now taken the Nigerian voting public and the citizens for granted. And, the political class keep doing this because the people don't react. Okay, so we are okay with the shove anything around our throats, down the throats, and we just sit down. Maybe analysts like me will talk, media people like you will talk, CSOs will do some conferences and workshops and issue press releases. What are the citizens themselves doing? The citizens themselves are, trapped in the cocoons of their primordial sentiments. They are talking about, this is our party. Oh, this man is from my ethnic group. This man is from my religion. It's our time to rule. Oh, you are talking because you hate the government. You are talking because you are jealous. You are because you are not from. When you talk now, when it was Buhari's time, they say you are talking because you are not from the north. Now, and the Yoruba man is there. You are talking because you are not Yoruba. If an Igbo man goes now, you are talking because you are not Igbo. So far, we are trapped with that. The politicians are happy because they have got us where we are, and that is where most of the citizens are now. So why will the Senate do this? Because they know they can get away with it. Because if they know they cannot do this and not have some serious repercussions, they won't do it. But the Nigerian condition has been characterized by severe docility of the citizens to take anything, any nonsense that the government brings down. So anywhere in the world, if citizens allow the government to do anything and get away with it, every political class everywhere in the world will behave the same way. The only difference between the political class in Nigeria and political class maybe in the United States or UK or other countries is because the fact that when they misbehave, they know their citizens will hold them to account. Look at what is happening in the UK about the Epstein files and all those cases. But here, nothing happens, you know. So these guys are comfortable. Look at the explanation. Look at the way the Senate president waved away, you know, consents of Nigeria yesterday and said, no, you should stand as a nobody should deceive you, because he knows nothing will happen. So it is like for Nigerians to know the action they will take about this and know how to ensure that the Senate does not succeed with this. Because when they succeed with this, then the 2027 election is concluded before it begins. And we should be moving forward, not backward. The same APC government that is going electronical in their own vote, in their own membership registration. They have developed a portal. They are doing you know, a lot of digital transformation in their party registration to capture more people and the rest, taking all kinds of information from people. Then you come to the election itself. You don't want you know, electronic voting, electronic transmission of electronic results online real time. That means they are not ready for a free and fair or transparent election in 2027.
Clearly, this is not over just yet, and we have a big conversation on this show. But let's take a look at New Telegraph, Mr. Igboke, and leads with something quite different. Yes, the stories on insecurity, the Senate is also on the front page, and I must add that there was an attack in Kwande, in Benue State as well, a market, where people were killed. Close to 20 people were killed, we understand, in that attack. And these are just some that are reported. There are kidnappings happening on a daily basis in parts of the country. Edo State, for example, where people were kidnapped, some of them rescued. But it's kidnapping that happened so much to keep tabs on. But the big story is a departure. You see, NNPC Limited pulls plug on PH refinery, says $1.5 billion project, monumental loss. But let me just show you the explainers. The NNPC boss said, thank God for Dangote refinery as company shifts to new ownership model. So we've seen that it looks like a lot of things are better handled by private sector. Telco, for example, private sector. Obviously, this one as well, private sector. In fact, even the power sector, I know that there's lots of challenges, but you realize that the government still owns a major stake in it. Maybe that's why we still have some of these challenges and, of course, some of the hanky-panky that played out in the privatization process. But now it's been called a monumental loss. Should heads roll for this? Because this was packaged as a game changer for Nigeria, Mr. Igboke. I'm sure you recall all of that razzmatazz.
Well, you know, these refinery issues, I blame the late President Yaradua for what we are witnessing now. Because if he had allowed the sale of the refinery, just as President Obasanjo sold it before he left office, I think by now we will not be talking about this kind of shame. But because he was trying to play populism, you know, among the citizens, he reversed the sales of the refinery to private people that have been sold to. Down the line, where the Obasanjo was accused of selling it cheap, but down the line, it would have been a better option for us because we keep pumping money, billions and billions into it, and we are not getting any result. We have NNPC staff everywhere, and they are not producing a drop of refined product, yet they are earning so much. And so they are being fed from other sources that are making money. Which country runs that way? Are we practicing socialism or what? So when you compare NNPC with its mates, we are talking about Saudi Aramco in Saudi Arabia. When you talk about Petrobras in Brazil, when you talk of the one in Russia, I think Zapron or something, and what the name they call it, the Russian own. So we have all those things. They are making money for their countries. There are government companies run very well, but run with as a corporate entity. But here we are seeing it. NNPC, when it was even making money, NNPC is busy selling crude and all that. That is what they are doing. The refineries that were set up in the 70s were allowed to die because some people were allegedly who were in power allegedly have their own private refineries or stakes in refineries abroad, and make sure our own died, and then they were sending it there. Even recently, Mr. Alaji Aliko Dangote, some people are having some invested interest in Malta. You know, when the war about it, when they were trying to starve his refinery of crude oil, and that is how, you know, how evil these people can get. So for Julani talking about, most of it, we know it. If they need to sell those refineries, they should quickly do so. Some of those refineries are almost getting obsolete, but they are still workable because a lot of refineries in Europe and America are still the same. In fact, they are older. Some of them were built in the 100 years ago, 80 years ago. So our refinery is just in the 70s. So I don't think it's too old. Just hand it over to private people and let them build it. Then the PIA, Petroleum Industry Act, for some time now, there is a problem about people that have got a license in setting up modular refineries. Some of them have complained a lot about logistical challenges, about intemperate business environment and all those things. So the government can look also into that so that people can have modular refineries. For example, somebody can just decide to build a refinery that will service one state. Somebody can say, I want to build a refinery for the mainland, the island in Lagos. And that is his own service area. Somebody can say, I want to build for Ogun State. So we don't need to have gigantic refineries all over the country. All we need to do is have small modular refinery that can service us. And then we have coordinated pipelines that can have monitoring. In Saudi Arabia, what Saudi Aramco does is that from the point of exploitation of the oil, through precision and instrumentation engineering, you could monitor every drop of oil that is being extracted, go to the refinery, come to the pumping machine until it is dispensed to the end user. The technology is available. So for Nigerians not to even make the refinery works means that there's some sort of people in the system who don't want this country to work. And that is why we're having this kind of thing, huge scandals every day. Why does it keep happening? Because nobody said accountable. Everybody seems to be in the mix. And nobody has been made to pay for the malfeasance in the oil sector, especially within the NNPC.
Well, I think that's what has brought us here, the fact that there are no consequences, largely, whether you look at the insecurity that is now spreading across the country. What consequences are there for those who perpetrate these acts on a large scale, or those who drop the ball in governance? You can look around, really. But Mr. Igboke, we have to thank you so much for your time this morning. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, walking through these very difficult topics. Really, I've been trying to hunt for some cheering news on the front page. But maybe next time we'll have you, Mr. Igboke, we'll dig deeper to get some of these cherished stories. We'll be speaking with the Chairman, Guild of Public Affairs Analysts, Enugu State, Dr. Ambrose Igboke. Wish you the very best.
Thank you very much. Have a pleasant day.
We'll try our best. We'll take a quick break now. When we return, we're starting off with the security situation, the genocide, really, that's what you can call it, in Kwara State, the massacre in Katsina, the latest one reported in Benue. We've also had kidnappings in different parts of the country. What exactly is going on? We're in 2026. Stay with us. We'll be right back.